This is the whole concept of nutrigenomics, using nutrients to activate cell signaling pathways to turn on health-promoting genes. Simple, right? So now you can trade me spots and finish the lecture then. How's that? So how does LifeVantage then apply these principles to its product line? How are we utilizing nutrigenomics in making you as healthy as possible? The easiest way to talk about it is by couching it in the theories of aging. Okay? Now there are many, many different theories of aging out there, and you might ask yourself, well, why is that? Well, researchers have been looking for years and years and years to try to find the one thing that's responsible for the aging process. But they weren't able to find it. So then they add a new theory and a new theory. They still haven't found the one thing that's responsible for why we get old. So what's probably going on is there's an additive effect with all of these different theories. A little bit of the deleterious effects from one, from another, and you get these additive effects. So our approach has been to tackle the most well-known, the most researched, and then how can we combat them. Okay? So the three we're going to talk about today are the oxidative stress theory of aging, the mitochondrial theory of aging, and the newest to the Protandim family, the sirtuin theory of aging. Okay? So here's the pathway for Nrf2. You've all heard of Nrf2? Yeah. Once or twice. So look, Nrf2 gets released, goes into the nucleus, and flips these switches for these protective and survival genes. Okay? So how are we utilizing this knowledge in our product line? And in this case, specifically, Protandim Nrf2 Synergizer. It's simple, right? Think about signaling molecule or input. It's nothing more than the ingredient deck. What's the switch? I'll give you a hint. It's in the name of every product. Okay? In this case, it's the Nrf2 pathway. And then we get all of those benefits that we experience. Okay? So both Darren and Jesse have talked about some new data that we got back. Okay? So we were asking the experimental question, if Protandim Nrf2 Synergizer is working as advertised, can we measure it? So Nrf2 is going to go into the nucleus, and can you see it's going to turn on genes? We looked at two of those genes, and the names don't really matter, but it's NQO1 and heme oxygenase, right? Two of these pro-survival genes that are regulated by Nrf2. So if Protandim Nrf2 Synergizer is working as advertised, we should see those genes turned on, right? Well, look what we found. In just 24 hours, we saw a 40% increase in NQO1 and a 51% increase in heme oxygenase. The products are working as advertised. How about the second theory of aging, the mitochondrial theory of aging? If you're not familiar with what the mitochondria are, they are the powerhouse of the cell. Okay? They are literally generating all of the energy that we need to function every second of every day. They are so important to our health and well-being that if I were to take somebody, snap my fingers, and shut off their mitochondrial function, they would be dead in a matter of seconds. That's how much energy we're consuming. The most toxic compounds on Earth work by shutting down mitochondrial function. Okay? They are essential for our long-term survival. Okay? So what's the mitochondrial theory of aging? The mitochondrial theory of aging states that as these mitochondria are working, and even the healthiest of mitochondria are producing a little bit of oxidants and free radicals. So those oxidants and free radicals are working back on the mitochondria, causing damage, and you start to get this vicious downward spiral. The mitochondria are also particularly susceptible to other insults and oxidative stress and free radicals. So you can see it just continues to viciously spiral downhill. As we age, the mitochondria don't work as efficiently, and they produce even more free radicals and oxidants. So we were asking the questions, were there things we could do to promote mitochondrial health? The gene that's been shown to regulate mitochondrial health and mitochondrial turnover is called what? Nrf1, the name of the product. So again, if we come back to our framework, the signaling molecules, or the input, are the ingredients. What's the switch? The Nrf1 pathway. And then all of those health benefits related to mitochondrial health. So again, if we come back to our scientific framework, and Protandim Nrf1 Synergizer is activating the Nrf1 protein, we should be able to measure the genes that are regulated by Nrf1. So interestingly, Nrf1 actually regulates itself. So when it's active, it turns on more of itself. And then another important protein called PGC1 alpha that's been shown to help with mitochondrial turnover. Okay, so we're moving the bad ones and putting good ones back in their place. Okay? What did we find? We found that Protandim Nrf1 Synergizer could increase the Nrf1 gene by 65% and increase PGC1 alpha by 71% in just 24 hours. The products are working as advertised. Let's talk about this latest theory of aging to LifeVantage, the sirtuin theory of aging. Hold your hats, here we go. There's a family of proteins called the sirtuins. The sirtuins are so interesting because when they're activated, we get a number of health benefits that result. So up on the screen, I've really simplified this, but one of those is called autophagy. This is known as cellular cleanup. So you can literally think of this as being a little vacuum cleaner moving through the cell that's picking up all the garbage that accumulates over time and as we age. And then we talk about balancing a healthy inflammatory response, and you get this whole host of health benefits that ultimately result in healthy longevity. Okay? The problem is sirtuin activity declines by 60% as we age. So what can we do? We looked at sirtuins and we asked the question, what's the thing that's been shown in the scientific literature to best activate sirtuin activity? It's a phenomenon called caloric restriction. Now, this isn't just a little diet. We're talking about drastically reducing the number of calories that you and I would eat every day. We would only be able to eat about 700 to 800 calories every single day if we want to activate sirtuin proteins. Does anyone want to eat 750 calories the rest of their life? No, it's a miserable existence. Okay? So caloric restriction activates it. More research went on, and they found something very interesting. There was a molecule called NAD that is required for that sirtuin activation. Okay? So under caloric restriction, what's been shown in terms of increasing sirtuin activity? There's a 94% increase in the activity of these sirtuin proteins. Okay? If we want to look at NAD and activate sirtuins through NAD, we also have to look at the NAD biosynthetic pathway. And forgive me, this one is complicated. But what I want you to take away is on your left side, your body can make NAD from scratch. Okay? On the right side, your body can make NAD by recycling the NAD that's been consumed in various enzymatic reactions. So two ways to make NAD, from scratch or through recycling. So we asked the question, could we activate the NAD biosynthetic pathway nutrigenomically? Again, it's nothing more than utilizing the signaling molecules or the input, the ingredients in the product, the switch, the NAD pathway, and then all of the health benefits that we experience. So if we come back, Oh, trust me, it gets way, way better if you're clapping already. So if we come back and we look at this NAD biosynthetic pathway, there's two enzymes that are the most important to make NAD and recycle NAD. Okay? If we go into the laboratory and we measure the upregulation of these genes through these nutrigenomic interventions, what did we find? We see a 12% increase in the expression of these genes. But remember, it's sirtuin activity that we're trying to target. So what did we see? Remember, caloric restriction increases by 94%. What did we find? 100%. 100% activation. It's amazing. And just for fun, we were curious about the competition. The competition is utilizing a different approach. They're not using nutrigenomics. They're trying to make it from scratch. Okay? What did they show? Only a 2% increase in sirtuin activity. 50 times lower than Protandim NAD Synergizer. Right? Unbelievable. And thus, you'll experience the improved mental focus and concentration, supporting a positive mood and motivation, boosting mental and physical energy, supporting the body's healthy inflammation response, maintaining cholesterol levels already in the healthy range, and overall cardiovascular health, to name a few. Amazing. This nutrigenomic approach to nutrition works, and we can show this in the laboratory. I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so we saw that the individual products are working amazingly individually. We had the suspicion that there was going to be a massive synergistic effect between the three products in the Protandim family. Guess what we found? A massive synergistic effect. Okay? So there's a lot going on here. This is the data that I showed you for the individual products upregulating their respective genes. But what did we find with the Tri Synergizer? For NQO1 in the Nrf2 gene family, a 78% increase in that gene, or an additional 83% increase.
Okay, wait. So on the left-hand side, I'm looking at the product individually,
the product
40%.
Individually.
That's just Nrf2. And then if I use all three products in the Protandim family,
Tri Synergizer,
78%
increase. And then look what happens when we get into heme oxygenase. A massive additional increase in heme oxygenase. So much so we had to break that bar. It would be up through the ceiling on the screen. Or an additional 1,500% increase. Do you see the synergy? Nrf1, it increased to 90%, or a 38% increase over the single product alone. PGC1 alpha increased to 120%, or a 69% further increase. How about the NAD genes? Look at this. The first one, we saw it increase to 128% for an almost 1,000% increase in the expression of that gene. And then, are you ready for this? Look at this. That other NAD gene went up to 227% for an almost 1,800% increase. That's the excitement. So, can you see the power of utilizing the entire Protandim family of products? I was up very early this morning to attend the LifeVantage doctors meeting, and you won't believe it, I got asked this question. If I only would take one product, which one would it be? What? It's kind of a goofy question now, isn't it? Wouldn't I want to maximize my health benefits? It's a no-brainer. Take the three together to maximize your health benefits. Pretty cool, huh?
With the strength of this product line, we can help flip the switch, help those people feel better in every way, so that they can do more of what they deserve, more of what they are intended to do, more of what they're capable of. And together, we're going to change individual lives. And along the way, we're going to change the world with this product line.